Talking to him, you feel this kind of like ease that comes over you, and you have this belief in yourself because he believes. I think he believes in a lot of us more than we believe in ourselves sometimes. So.
Right, Cal, a little cooler than it was last week in California, but hey, it's one of the reasons why we like this place. I think today, I don't know how much you look at the calendar and the schedule in these regards, but you guys are at the quarter mark right now. And I'd love to just start out with kind of an evaluation of where you think you are as a group right now.
Yeah, I think we're pretty pleased with where we're at. Obviously, the last 4 games haven't been great. But if you're looking at it through one quarter of the year, I think we're in a pretty good spot. Also looking at, where we've been at with injuries. So, you look at, feel like we've had the injury bug. We got Rails, Robles, George, Logan. It's just kind of been guys over and over falling. So based off of that, I think it's been really good.
I would imagine there have been some good, I don't want to say it was a surprise, but to see the amount of offense that you have seen, I mean, when you look back to spring training and what was asked of you as a group, are you checking all the boxes?
I don't think we're trying to check any boxes. I just think we're just trying to, really lean into that identity of, committing to a plan, being a certain type of team. And overall, grand scheme of things so far, it's been really good. We just got to keep hammering it home. I think I told you this before, but, it's not about reinventing the wheel. It's not about trying to do more, trying to do something different. It's just continuing to lean on, what we've talked about and the identity of who we are and just trying to always consistently be that. So, especially when things aren't going your way, you start, wavering a little bit, just always trying to go back to that identity.
Have you seen that a little bit in a little bit of a rough stretch right now? Are there some reminders that need to go out, or have you guys stuck with what you need to stick with there?
I think that, I don't think anything's really changed in that sense. I think, I think we've still been swinging the bat pretty well. Mm-hmm. I think it doesn't ever hurt to, go back to your kind of core values and your pillars of what it is that who you are as a team and what makes you go. So, it always is going to be good to have those reminders and kind of lean back on those. So, just got to, get back to it quicker rather than later. So.
Aside from the obvious, the production and the runs that are up on the board, what does that do for the entire team to see the offense doing what it's done in this first quarter?
Yeah, it builds a lot of confidence, just because, our pitching's been so good in the past. And obviously the issue's always been more on the offensive side. So when you see us scoring runs, you see us doing little things like that, it's a big boost, especially for our staff and definitely for the confidence of this team to, we are capable to put up runs, to do things, to do little things the right way and kind of become that kind of team that we want to be and to get to where we want to go.
It's been done with some kind of new pieces, some absolute surprises from outside of the organization, some from inside of the organization. Just a little check-in. What have you seen from Ben Williamson in his first, almost a month?
Yeah, Ben, he has a really good approach. I think that's the number one thing I see when I watch Ben. Obviously, he's a really, really good defender over there at third base. He's had some really tough balls. Made some really good plays on some tough plays. As far as, like I said, with the hitting, the approach is really good. He takes his hits. He's able to get those kind of lousy singles that you call, but they're still hits because he stayed inside the ball. And good hitters at the end of the day get jammed, and that's kind of how I see him. And he's a good complete hitter. And it's just going to be up to him to make the adjustments because at some point, he's going to start getting pitched differently, whether you've seen it yet or not. It's just how the league kind of reacts to you, and they start to learn, and then you have to learn from that, and it's just a constant cat and mouse game. So, but he's doing a really good job, and he's been a good teammate, he's been a good player, and definitely like what I see so far.
What do you remember about that when you went through that? It's like you're kind of swimming along and everything's great, and all of a sudden you walk in one day and you're like, is this a different sport?
Yeah. Yeah. I I didn't come up right away and have that kind of success that he did. So, but yeah, it's tough, even just talking to any of the young guys, just learning to deal with failure, I think, is one of the biggest things that I had to learn. And like you said, you feel like you're in a completely different world. You're like, but at the end of the day, you're still playing the same game, but you've just never failed at this level. You never failed maybe this much or this consistently. And it's just hard. It's hard to learn to deal with failure, and especially if you've never done it before and if you've never gone through those struggles. So trying to help those guys out as much as I can, try to get guys back on the right track and realize that it's just still baseball, and it's just learning how to deal with that and trying to cut the corners quicker.
Did you have kind of the prototypical, you got a little bit of success and then all of a sudden they started approaching you differently?
Yeah. I remember early on in my big league career, it wasn't terrible first couple games, but then the league quickly figured out high fastballs and lots of spins and changeups, a lot of off-speed pitches. So, I was chasing a lot, wasn't taking my walks, and the league's going to keep exposing you until you make that adjustment. So it's different with every guy, and I think it is also worth noting that these are the best players in the world, that are here. It's not like you're just facing, average Joes out there. You're facing the best in the world, and they're really good at what they do, and they can expose you really quickly. And it's the whole thing. It's the game planning. It's the scouting. It's the the pitchers, the position play, like how good they are at what they do, and it's the big leagues for a reason. So,
what's been the key to this team's success? You have lowered the strikeout rate. You in the past have been right there at the top of the bottom of strikeouts, and for good parts, you're in a decent spot right now as a team. There are some good parts of the season where you guys have been pretty far up there in strikeout percentage. What's the key to lowering that as quickly as you have?
I think it just comes down to approach, really focusing in with two strikes on where you're trying to hit the ball and what you're trying to do with it. Realizing, we're not trying to pull yank the ball for a home run every single time, even with two strikes. Really just being consistent with the middle of the field. And when you're thinking middle of the field, you're letting the ball get a little deeper. You're not worried about trying to do too much with it. You're focusing that way, and it helps keep you on the spin a little longer and helps you fight off the fastballs as well, and just gives you longer at bats. When you get longer at bats, you get more pitches to hit, and you're able to do that. And like I said, when you have a good approach and you're thinking, middle of the field, then you can get those kind of lousy singles. You can get those, put more balls in play and punch out less. So.
Do you keep track of lousy singles? Is there a stat for that for you?
No, there's no stat, but you just see like all the good teams.
They're important.
You look at the end of the day and you're like, oh, that was just a crappy hit. But at the end of the day, that's how those things add up, and those kind of hits and singles and at bats add up over time, and that's what good teams do. And obviously, you're gonna have your home runs, you're gonna have your big doubles, like big knocks, like. Those are bound to happen always, but I think the biggest thing this year is how many, those singles that just get over their head, or we're able to put this ball in play and move a runner, like instead of taking that strikeout. So it's those little things that go a long way, and those are the things that win ball games. It's not always the sexy, 3-run homer. So
you kind of need everybody doing that, I would imagine. It's hard to commit to it if everybody else isn't.
Yeah, it's a team-wide approach.
Yeah.
So, it's just nice because every single day it's the same approach. It's consistently the same message, and you're doing the same thing every day, and you're not constantly trying to chase a bunch of different rabbits or whatever it is. But you're not trying to go different ways. You're not changing every day.
Yeah.
You're not going one day where you're trying to go this way or you're trying to go this way as far as like approach wise, parts of the field. Or you're trying to change yourself every single day. If you just consistently be that same guy and have that simple simple thought, then you can become a more consistent player.
Somebody helping with that? I mean, because I know that for hitters, like change can be the worst thing. You don't want to always be tinkering and always making big changes. Is somebody kind of really keeping an eye on that or regulating that, or is?
Yeah, well, I mean, you are who you are, right? I mean, you want to play into your strengths and you want to stay away from your weaknesses, and you want to consistently be the same guy every single day so that, you know, when push comes to shove, you're going to be in the place that you want to be at the end of the year. So, like I said, if you're constantly changing, constantly doing new things, you're not going to be ready for that one thing when you get in the game. You know, if I'm constantly I'm switching, constantly trying to hit the ball the other way and trying to pull it middle, constantly, you know, chasing different rabbits, then I'm never going to be able to consistently hit the pitch that I want to hit, and I'm not going to be able to have that kind of trust and that approach that I have.
How do Edgar, Seitzer, Bobby work together? If you're going into the cage, what does that look like, or before you get to the cage, or out on the field?
Yeah, I mean, they've been great, just always being there. And, you know, I think a great thing is, you know, they're not constantly trying to tinker. They're not constantly trying to find things wrong with you. They're not constantly changing, kind of what we were just talking about. They're not constantly changing the approach, changing what you do every single day. Obviously, if you're struggling, like, you can talk and maybe find a drill or two, but it's not every day. It's not, you know, come in, find it. It's like consistently doing your prep, consistently working on your approach, and just hammering it home every single day. Even if, you know, guys maybe do want to start to stray, they bring you back in, like, no, hey, you're good at this. You've been really good. Your swings look great. Like, there's no need to change. And sometimes the best coaching is not coaching, you know, not trying to do too much and not trying to overdo it. And I think they've done a great job of just really hammering that stuff home, being consistent, and really just keeping it simple. And at the end of the day, it is a simple game. So.
Have you had, and I had this moment in reporting, believe it or not, but Edgar Martinez is just so far up there. Has he ever like, hey, you can do it, Cal, and you felt good about it? I mean, is there something about having him in your corner?
Yeah, I mean, he always has confidence in us, and I don't know how to describe it. You know, when talking to him, you feel this kind of like ease that comes over you, and you know, you have this belief in yourself because he believes. I think he believes in a lot of us more than we believe in ourselves sometimes. So, but it's nice too because, you know, him and Sites especially, you know, they know how hard it is, and you know, they know how tough of a game it is, but it's crazy, you know, like the more consistent you can be with your approach and more consistent you can. I keep saying that we're consistent, but the more consistent you can do that, and I think that's what I've really learned from Edgar and these guys is like, you know, just consistently being the same guy, like, you're going to be good. You're going to be where you want to be. But it's whenever you start changing, you know, start going different ways, or you start straying off the path, it's like, no, just stay on the path, trust the path, and you'll be where you want to be at the end of the day. And, you know, I think that's kind of what our team has done a good job of this year so far.
I think we see it every day and up and down the lineup. It's a lot of fun to watch. Not necessarily being himself, but did you see Leo Ribas in the catching gear yesterday?
Yesterday?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Where at? He was out here doing it?
Yes.
Oh, jeez. I saw him in the locker room the other day. I didn't know he was out here.
Yeah, no.
Did he catch a bullpen?
I think he did catch a bullpen.
Machine?
Yes, and then he came in. I think there was some bullpen catching going on.
It's the smallest catcher in the big leagues.
You're going to have to give us a review if you see it. But, I mean, I don't, you know.
Just in case. Hopefully it never comes to that. But.
All right, the last one. I don't know if you understand how big of a weekend we have coming up. San Diego, the official first Vedder Cup, the start of the Vedder Cup. Surely they've shown you the video and imparted the just importance of this entire thing on you.
The Vedder Cup? What's so funny?
Okay. So this might be up to you to do some research and tell your teammates, because it's really big. It's really big. We'll start. Do you know who Eddie Vedder is?
I don't.
Oh my gosh, help. You know who Pearl Jam is?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Eddie Vedder is the lead singer of Pearl Jam. I'm sure you've got all of his.
Oh, okay. I think I've heard about this before.
Okay, yes. And he is from San Diego. Mike McCready, guitar player, just played the anthem here.
Yes.
Guitarist for Pearl Jam. It has been an unofficial when the Padres and the Mariners meet. That originally came into play when there was interleague play was first introduced, and everybody had to have a natural rival. So naturally, it was the Mariners and the Padres, because I know you hate the Padres. I mean, I know that hatred just runs deep in you.
Yeah.
But that was it. And a lot of the fans, it just kind of somehow became the Vedder Cup.
Okay.
And we would joke about it, and then we'd sometimes call it that on the broadcast, because Pearl Jam broke through here. Vedder is from San Diego.
Right.
Now, he's a Cubs fan. I don't know how that fits into any of this. He is a famous Cubs fan. But it is now official. There is a trophy.
Really?
6 games. Mariners, Padres, first official Vedder Cup.
So what happens if we go 3-3?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. It would first be determined by run differential.
Ah, that's
Now, if that is tied, then it is, in honor of Eddie Vedder, exit velocity. So you're going to need to hit the ball extra hard.
This is a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah, right up until you have that trophy in your hands, Cal. Right until you bring that back. Actually, it'll be determined here, because the final 3 games in Seattle. So I don't want to put anything extra on you down in San Diego. I mean, I know, but
The Vedder
just,
Cup.
there's a little extra on that series. So I just hope that you and everybody else are well prepared for it.
I did see that it was rivalry weekend.
Yes. So,
coming up,
yes, San Diego, just, fish tacos. Why?
Yeah, they are like our spring training
Complex mates.
complex.
Yeah.
I guess
Probably
see
pretty
that.
messy. I don't, just, they leave the field. I don't know. But yes, so just keep that in
Interesting.
mind this
Vedder
week.
Cup.
Important stuff, the Vedder Cup. Okay.
I'll have to
Tell a
check
friend.
Check out
Tell
that
a friend.
trophy, I guess.
It's a guitar. Logan's going to want it. All right.
It's not even a trophy.
So that's all we've got for you, thankfully, Cal. Thank you.
No, thank you.